Hello techies, I'm Divya here. On behalf of CyberBrainer, don't you think the world of tech is evolving faster than ever? Now is the perfect time to dive in and build the skills that will take you places. With CyberBrainer, we are putting you in the driver's seat of your own future. We at CyberBrainer don't just teach your interest. We believe that knowledge is power, but it's applied knowledge that truly sets you apart. Whether you're diving into data science, mastering artificial intelligence, or exploring the world of cybersecurity, our courses are designed to give you the skills that matter. So let's jump into the session and make the future yours today. Thank you.
CI/CD is a continuous integration and continuous deployment process. To understand this entire CI/CD process, there are some subcomponents you need to understand. One is C. First is you need to understand about Mule Maven Plug-in. What is Mule Maven Plug-in and what it will do? How can we deploy applications using Mule Maven Plug-in? Is plug-in inside Mule Maven? Mule Maven file. First component. And second component, you need to have an idea about the source for repositories. You have an idea about the Git or Bitbucket. Say that one more time. The Git or Bitbucket. I heard Git. Anytime you have worked, right, you have an idea of Git, right? A little bit. I have a theory. I understand the concept, right? It's a repository, right? Yes, it's a repository where we push our code. It's a repository where we store different versions of our application and we can commit our code to these repositories. Distributed repositories. Meanwhile, try to learn about Git from YouTube or some other resources. There are numerous resources available in the internet. It's not a Mule concept, it's a generic concept, right? Do you know? And allow me to interrupt you. No problem. I've been reading a little bit about the developers and cloud stuff and AWS stuff. All this technology you're talking about, like CI/CD, Git Maven, and what's the other one you're saying? Jenkins, Kubernetes, Dockers. All those stuff is being used many other ways, right? Everybody's using now this technology. Correct title? And if you know how to use one, you can apply that right to any other systems. Which one? Like, for example, if I learn how to use Jenkins, right? And you know there's a Jenkins way to use it in AWS stuff for automating stuff. Jenkins or AWS Azure. Sorry, not AWS, this is what's there. Microsoft Azure, this is also a CAC. There's also AWS like Amazon. And Azure AWS use it. If you know how to use one of them, like if you know how to use Jenkins AWS, then it's easy to learn that in MuleSoft, isn't it? Correct. If you know one tool, there is only difference in the implementation, but concept-wise it is same concept. You need to understand, you need to focus on the implementation wiser, how the process is implemented in Jenkins and the process implemented in Azure DevOps. You call it implementation process. Implementation process may be different in Jenkins and different in DevOps. The build process of the pipeline. We need to build a pipeline. That is, the process is different in Jenkins. But the concept is same, the pipeline, building the pipeline, executing the pipeline. The concept is same, but the way the implementation is different. You can able to understand. If you understand one tool, you can easily understand the other tools. I think that's what I was thinking. That's good. But before understanding this process, you need to have idea about each and every of these concepts. What is the plugin? What is the repository? How to commit a code? How to manage a code? How to push a code? Pull a code? How to grow in this concept? You need to have idea about the repositories. You can have all-around idea about the CHT process. Today we discussed about Mule Maven plugin, how we can use, what is the importance of Mule Maven plugin, and how we prepare application using Mule Maven. We hope it automates the deployment process. And the second thing is we touched about API Manager. API Manager. What is API Manager? What we will do in API Manager on how we apply a policy. Due to time constraints, we will apply a simple policy on the API. I will show you what is the policy and what is the importance of policy, how we apply policy. We'll finish this tutorial again. Adding it's good. Yep, it was a good plan. Let's jump into the Mule Maven plugin. I recommend you go through this page. Go to Google. No open. Mule Maven package. Go to this Mule Maven package link. The documentation. See, the Mule Maven package enables you to integrate the packaging and deployment of your Mule application in your Maven lifecycle. There is a lifecycle defined in the Maven, right? What is the lifecycle? Lifecycle means how you're packaging your. There are some places while packaging your applications. What it will do is first, it will compile your sources. You know about compile, Adam, what compile means. I know it's like one in the code, right? It will convert this whatever Java code or Vue code to the executable code. Something bytecode, that one. Compile, it will check the syntax. Is your syntax is correct as per the language specifications, right? If your syntax is not good, it will raise a compilation error. We will get compile errors, right? At compile phase, it will check your language. Whatever code you've written is as per syntax or not. That is compile phase. Once compile is done, it will test. And install. Sorry, compile will. This is compile doing the test. Compile, sorry. Test install package. Finally deploy. These are the phases inside the paper, right? It will compile the code in compilation process. It will check if the code is written as per the language specification or not. If you forget any, if you code along a line with your language, it will recompile the test. Test phase will be executed. Test cases that are written inside your application, right? Test phase. It will be the report and it will break test case, any test case phase. And install phases. What it will do is it will install a jar file in your local repository. The other day I showed you, right, the local repository. In your users directory, the repository is into local repository. It will put the jar file in whatever the jar file is generated in local repository. And it will gather all the other jar files and make a package that you can deploy to a server. It will create a package of all your applications that you can deploy to a server. Finally, it deploys the application to a target server in the deploy phase. These are the phases in lifecycle. In event lifecycle, it will do that. It is compatible with your runtime engine enterprise application communication. Now here different sections are given. How you can deploy application to the Cloud Hub. Here it deploys your Mule application to the Cloud Hub. See, there are steps given over here. You can go and you can see the steps and you can implement those steps. That you can able to deploy your application to the Cloud Hub. You need to replicate the same after session add-on. You need to deploy on your own using these steps. Now, in addition to using Anypoint Studio, Anypoint Runtime Manager, Anypoint Platform, CLI, there is some command level interface with CLI. Using command also you can do. But don't worry, we use this very rarely, that you don't worry about CLI. This is command line interface. To deploy applications, we can use this step. We can directly deploy from Anypoint Studio. If you go to Anypoint Studio, and I think I've shown you the option, but anyway I'm showing again. You can't deploy any application, right? I can directly click this one and go to Anypoint Platform. That's it. From here, directly from Anypoint Studio to Cloud Hub, I can deploy the first option. And the second option is this one we saw in the last session, right? From the online, what is that called? From Club Hub also, you can do the jar file. You can import the jar file and you can deploy. The CLI interface is a command line interface from that already deployed. You can also deploy, redeploy, and deploy the application using the new level plugin. Using this plugin also, you can do all these activities. You can deploy and redeploy all those steps. And go over here, what is the prerequisite? See pre-equities. You need to mention host, .0 and port as you need to mention like this. The other day we were given 80, 81. It doesn't depend. That is the reason. We need to give port like this. Then that means you have to have a YAML file. YAML file exactly. Every project, if you're using this, you have to have a YAML file. And this is the plugin given this code we need to put in our form for XML file. Copy this code and we need to place inside our form for XML file. Let's quickly create one simple project and deploy using the main. I'm going over here. My focus is now using the new techniques. I'm creating a very simple project. I will do one thing. I create one simple API because I thought it would be a good API. Excuse. How do you make it to remember you? Every time I have to enter my user ID and password. Like in your case, when you log into this website, the user ID and password is already there for you. There is some, we get a pop-up right. Save the username and password. I saved it. Excuse me, in the browser cache. Now I'm going to design a very simple API. That's the one you're doing. Nice focus, please. I'll give you a very simple get letter as the responses. As the response. That's very simple. PI. Only get letter right. Now let me go to the new file studio and let me implement the project. For our customer. Some more. Let's see something. And I'm importing in the. Let's find that. Since this is from your. No finish. What I'm doing is. I'm implementing it. It is simple. It's a customer. Put in some classes. My recommendation is simply putting some simple. There's a you create an object. I'm sorry. You create an object, right? clean object. This thing, the JSON, it's not an array, right? This is object. I'm simply creating some JSON array. Because you know it's big. I got. I want to deploy this application to the cloud. Right. For that, I need to go to my form. And what is mentioned over here is see to go inside the plugin element in your form. But XML file. Instead, it's a complex file. To configure your product deployment, replacing the placeholder values with people, product information. The plugin element is there. Let me go to the plugin element. This is a plugin element. The plugin element is there. And already when you need, one plugin is different over here. The plugin element. But this is not complete. Using this information, I can't able to apply this application to the product. It requires whole lot of information. That information mentioned over here. What I'm doing is I'm copying this plugin information. I'm replacing here. This information, I need to view my information. Actually, this username password. This information, placeholder. I need to view my information. Right. Any point runtime. What is the runtime version? I want to go for this one, right? And username and password. My anypoint username is there. My data is there. This is my defined username. Pass. And cloud of application name. It can do cloud application name. What application name you want to try to cloud of? I want to view my cloud of application name. Like my company name. My company name. Like if you can do any name. I'm doing some name. This is the customer. I want to do this number. But you can do any name. An environment. Which environment you want to deploy? I want to deploy to this sandbox. The region workers type. I don't have this information. Right. For that, I need to go over here. See. What are different regions are available in the region information. I can view this one. I need to do this one. I'm doing the default one. This one. You have to provide all of that. There is no default. No default. That's a default. You have to configure it or the system will do it by default. If you don't have a system, it will do it default. And work. How many workers you want to know what you can use? Only worker is one. Otherwise, you have to buy. If you buy, you can give multiple workers. By default is 1. You want your application to be more robust. And when millions of customers are using your application, you want to support all this stuff. You can deploy multiple workers. That is on the period 1, not on the period and worker type. I'm using that. This one, the default is micro. HT. I'm using as the. This one should be for properties. What do you see there? See, you need to set the properties for immune application. Do you want to try? And you can use properties that are. It will pick up the input from this from your main one file. We put like this, right? Now you are given this information according to your account. This is called a Maven file. This is called new Maven plugin. The plugin. Now I want to configure this mine port because I'm running the port and 8081. Right? You have too much. Mom, let me. I need to do the dollar. Right. I'm sorry. To be the application. Here the command is given. Using some command, you've been able to define the application to the cloud. Let me see the command here once. And you mentioned. Remember the CI/CD steps. What steps are we in now? We are only, understand the new name. Before you finish understanding CI/CD, you need to have an idea about this. Only the first phase, understanding how we can, automatic deployment in your application. In CI/CD, is a parent process where you can download the resources from a source for repository, and we can build this file and deploy all this stuff. Now, there is a command using to deploy your new application. What I'm doing is here. I'm going to this spot and opening my command prompt. And then giving this command in the end clean package deploy minus the new deploy. That is a command. In million the price of the product from the command line in your product folder. It is good to be the price. This is a command I need to execute, right? I'm executing this command. Wait for a few moments. You didn't provide the either application name or whatever project name. Does that mean that now that you are on the path, it knows that? I'm sorry, your wife, let me increase my volume. I think I decrease my volume. Oh, I think it's from my side. Can you hear me now? Well, the command you run, you didn't provide the project name or application name that you want to deploy. And does that mean that because you are the home, it knows that and it knows what project you're talking about, right? You have to be the right path. This is capital. I put small, it's mainly the reason. Exactly. I don't need to go to the right path where your project is, very new. I'm going to my project to part in my file system, and there I need to exclude this command. When you're executing the command, make sure you are informed that XML exists on that path. Then only the discovery works. And let me see this time to deploy the application to the cloud. Let me go to my cloud Runtime Manager. Creating application is name. Cloud means it is a public infrastructure, right? Many people across the world using this. You know this infrastructure. This is a free account, right? It takes time for us actually for cloud requirements. Meanwhile, I want to. Once while deploying, I want to give you one concept that is called API management. Like I said in the demo, using any point platform, you can design APIs. What things we can do? We can design APIs using the design center, right? We see this as the RAML part of design APIs. Using any point platform, we can design APIs and we can deploy APIs. That's what you are doing, right? We can deploy APIs to cloud and on-prem on the runtime, private, all those stuff. It is an APIs, we can deploy APIs and we can manage APIs. We can manage APIs. What is management? What is API management in sense? You can apply some sort of policies on your APIs on top of your APIs. When we say policy, are we talking about security policies or what kind of policy we're talking about? It's like, example, some security policies. Are there other policies that are involved here? Are there? Are there other policies other than security? Other than security, there are some policies like tinting. Trade limit, and logging policies. Let me show you the bunch of policies available in AnyPoint platform. Let me go to my AnyPoint manager. AnyPoint manager. For example, I want to apply a policy on top of my application. What does policy do? It's saying you want to provide security to your application. You are building an application. It sees application built by you. It's Adamti built an API and application. Whose responsibility to provide security to this application? Adam and I write. Well, you need to write a piece of code that will take care of your application security code. And if you develop 10 applications, in each application you need to write this code, right? The security code to secure that application. One is redundant. And tomorrow you want to change your security strategy. Then what you do? You remove this and you have to write a new security strategy code. This kind of management is inline management is. Always you need to change your application, change your files, change your source code. You deploy all the stuff, right? What happens if I, do a kind of plug and play? If I want my security, I will attach my security policy. If I don't want, I remove the policy. If I want to change, I apply a new policy. I want to externalize the logic, the execute logic, from inside application to outside application. That kind of external component, we can add attach and detach. That is called policy. Not only security policy, I can show you different kinds of other processes also. Any configurations or template you want to apply to your application. Whether it's security or other different configurations, or excellent word to use. It's a template kind of stuff. It's a ready-made, component ready-made. That on your custom, on your demand, you can apply, you can detach it, you can change it, whatever you. That doesn't impact your application code or any stuff, right? This is not being impacted. Right. That is called policy. Let me show you the policies available in the Anypoint platform. To apply to see that I need to first configure why I need to install an API. I already designed an API in Anypoint Design Center. I want to apply policy to this. API designed right, customer, API designed right. I want to apply policy to the customer API. For that I need to go to Anypoint, API manager. And I need to register that API. Add it. Add a new URL. API administration. You didn't share it, did you? What, Adam? I saw somewhere when you deploy, you have to be in the exchange or something like that. What you said is right. We need to publish this. I forget that script. Click that. Let me publish this to Exchange. That we can import from the Exchange. Many steps, my friend. If a change happened recently, I need to check this concept. And by the way, let me see what happens to my data. Oh, it's failing. Let me see. What's the reason? To deploy. What is the problem? And client code exception. That it must. Let me see if this is typing it right or not. It's happening. There is some step we protect. Object store is not supported. And if you put one more, from a project, we need to view this line. There is a concept called object store atom. It's just an object store. It is some of the questions of detailed explanation. Object store. Two kinds of object stores. There are object store v1 and object store v2. v1 is the older version and v2 is a newer version, right? That does not tell the difference. v2 always run in the Cloud Hub. v2 in the Cloud Hub. v1 is the older version. Whatever object store means. What is basically object store is it stores key value pairs. You can store key value pair and you can use the key value pair anywhere in your application. Key value pair is, right, name and value that you can store anywhere. What we can do is, anywhere you want to store some information in your Pro, you can configure object store. You can first, of course, want to store some information. You can configure the object store. In the object store, you can do the key value. What is key and what is value? Right? Or C, you can create the. Anyway, you can approach. Retrieve this information using the key. That you can get the value. The retrieve is also the object store. Retrieve all keys. There are information in the object store. I think that object store is some kind of temporary storage area. Here you can store the information, key value pair information in your new application. There are two types of object stores. There are persistent object store and transient object store. If your transient is temporary, persistent means you store to backend. Some object store concept is there. I'll tell you the object store concept. Now what is the error is? We are trying to use the v1 in the cloud app. Actually, v1 is not compatible to the cloud app. We need to be supposed to use v2 in the cloud app. But saying that what we need to say, that object store v2 is equal to true, we need to add this line. This line is not given in actual means of documentation. But we need to do this line, object store v2 is equal to true. That takes object store v2 and we don't get the error. API management, they may be changed some interface. I will check and I will let you go into management policies, Adam. Did they finish? Bottom. What finished? Like the deploying stuff. Is it? Still working on it. I get the duck. From this before that in your command prompt, right? Try to type in. Go to your command prompt. Time away, Adam. Is it doing anything or is it doing that? MVN? Oh. Again, where do I go? You go to your command prompt anywhere. Go to your command prompt cmd. On any MVN. Go to No, it doesn't recognize you. For me, I type MVN, enter, and I got something like scanning for projects. This kind of stuff, right? For you also, it's coming like this, or you are getting some bad command or unknown command type of message. What is this? For quiz. I want the MV. It doesn't recognize that. If it doesn't work, what you do is you need to configure MVN in your system. It's very simple. Go to Apache. This is my first link. Type MVN in your Google Write and go to first link. Go to the Apache MVN site. And type the download. Where do you go? No. Go to download link. and download this one. Then archive this one. Zip, binary zip, binary zip files. Once you download this zip file, it's very downloaded quite fast to me. What you need to do is you would extract that one. Then somewhere in your C drive or drive they are not in download because we use one. Sometimes we completely download. It is the download file, right? If you don't download it, it's safer to put those in your C drive or drive. Somebody save place. I call him Win. I put over here in my C drive. I put in Apache MVN, right? This is my Apache MVN folder. Afterwards, what you need to do is you need to go to your properties. And you need to calculate something like that. This one, environment properties. Advanced system techniques. Can you go one more time? I just uninstall it and patch it. What do you call that? And unzip it, right? Unzip put somewhere in your C drive or drive. Then after that, what I do? Then go to your P. And here do I have to get the path of the pin directory. Excellent. Exactly, click. Then go my PC. My PC and right click and select properties. One sec. File directory. And under my PC properties. Properties, yes. Then what? Then advanced system settings on your left panel. One sec. That's not my file. Grab this. What is this? Why is it doing that? And advanced system settings. I'm putting my cursor over here, right? 1 second. Settings, after settings, where do you go? Click that one. After settings, where do you go? Go to enrollment variables. I don't know, did I go there? Under my PC, right click it and click the uClick property. Then what? Then if you put property, you will get this page, right? This window, right? See if I click on the properties. I don't know, I got different ones. We need a under control panel, is it? Or else in the here, I think env, right? We could do env. Enrollment variables. Or else in the search right here, put simply environment. System, environment, system type over here, environment, and we get this page. It's very shortcut. I know you won't let me. Somehow there's a restriction involved here. And I'll figure it out. But there's a restriction going on in my PC. They don't want to. Yes, even my office PC also. There is a restriction. I'll raise a ticket and I'll talk to the administrator and I remember. I mean on the information PC. If you want PC, you can do that. But I thought or I could done it different way and I don't know through bib command is it path. Only path command. You need to set enrollment variables right over here. There is a path. There is a path somewhere in the path you know. Add that Maven bin. Right. See a patch Maven bin. That's it. Add that path over here. It will work. And you can. Anyway, it will work. I think I could do that. Maybe through command prompt. You can talk to your administrator. You can add that path that it will work. Let me get started. See. Start. Over here. I think I can do that. Slash customers. Oops. Oh, I didn't. I did not want to do that. I will continue that. Maybe a reason. I didn't continue the unfill. I forgot for my own friend had a bad reason. The contribution properties. And it will be the other type of. I was able to fix the path. Great man. Now if I click MVN, you're getting that, huh? I'm getting scanning the project but say build failure. That's not a problem because in that path the form XML is not there. That's the reason you're getting build failure. You go to your project where the form XML file is there, then you won't get one. It will exclude the public server. See now, see it's assessing, already really trying that stuff using this command. Commanding work when you want to contribute the Maven. Now what it is, you contribute the Maven. And your company is done. And that's it. Try to practice this thing. Copy this one and along this one. One more line you need to add is what I'm thinking, that line, or I think you enter the configuration. I think with that line the chart, add this line also. Got it, Adam? What are the steps? Go to your Maven plugin. And capture this code. What are the plugin information given to the Maven documentation? And copy that to your FormsMule file. The FormsMule file is already, the Maven plugin is given, but it's not enough. Replace your existing Maven plugin with this code. The very first step. And the second step, you need to configure that like in according to your account. You need to view your username, your password, and your rest of this. Only those things are important. Rest of these may be the same for everybody. And this line is not given over there. Once this is ready, then you need to configure your HTTP port and host. Make sure HTTP port and host is like this. This time it doesn't need IAML, it grabs from here. Is that true? No. You can check me for the IAM. I'm too different, by the way. Somebody did check me for the Yavin. I'm ready now. Not project right. See, this configuration is there actually. This Maven plugin configuration is there. And the username and password. And it sometimes requires the organization client side, client secret. All the stuff is not given to developers. What they do is they store all this information in Jenkins file, Jenkins server. And they're given some key only. We need to configure that key in our formal XML file. The values are fetched from the Jenkins file. The Jenkins file is under the supervision of production deployment team, not our developers team. That they secure these sensitive properties in that way also. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.